Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, or whenever you're watching this. It's Esteban, your reasonable accountant. Here, I'll start this video off with me just talking as I drive my manual transmission in my Toyota pickup slash Hilux. Yes, I have a Hilux, and it's cool. Just wish it was diesel. Okay, so everyone's done an EDC video, your everyday carry video, so I might as well do one. And shocker, it's going to be a bit different in that I could say, well, you got to have this, you got to carry an M240 machine gun, you got to have a Mark 19 attached to your pickup, which would be cool, but thanks unconstitutional NFA. And you got to carry a full blowout kit in your back pocket, 2 pistols, one on your ankle, one appendix carry, and have a rifle in your backpack and what have you. But I'm not. I'm just going to show you basically kind of how I set mine up and why I do it. And hopefully it can maybe give you things to think about. I don't want you to say, oh, you have to do it this way, or who's this guy? He's just an accountant. Yeah, I am just an accountant. That's why you shouldn't be worried. But that's what I'm going to talk about. About EDC, my philosophy behind it, and how it's evolved. At one point I carried a lot. Some points I carried almost nothing. Now I've kind of been set in what I do carry now, and it's been pretty good for me. And what I actually use most of my EDC, yes, I use my keys. My keys probably get used the most. My phone, of course. My wallet on occasion when I gotta buy something. I rarely ever show my ID for anything, except for when I'm buying a gun or getting on an airplane. Or some other stuff that I carry in my wallet that I have to use. You know, I probably use my watch, one of the most common reasons. And I'm gonna talk about why I wear my watch the way I do. I've worn it the other way, you know, face up on top of your wrist. But I tend to always go back to carrying it underneath my wrist like this. And there's no tactical reason for it. There's actually my philosophy behind it. So yeah, let's get started on this. So, we're talking about how I do EDC, I guess, or what I think is important. And most of the time, as you've seen, I wear jeans. These are just another pair of jeans that I have, and it's kind of how I have it usually set up with my belt, my stuff in my pockets, my knife, got my phone here. Now, when I get ready for bed at night, I don't take my stuff out of my jeans. I leave it all in here. If I'm changing out to a new clean pair of jeans, I'll get the new clean pair of jeans out before I go to bed, and I run the belt through it, put all my stuff in the pockets where I keep everything, and then I just put the jeans either on a chair next to my bed or in my closet. If I'm staying at a hotel, it's on the chair next to my bed, or it's just in my closet. And then when I get up in the morning, you know, I work out, I go take a shower, and then I just grab my jeans and I just put them on. I don't have to put anything else into them because everything's already in them. Put my jeans on, put my boots on, put my socks and boots, clean underwear, and then my jeans, and then a clean t-shirt and a clean shirt. And that's how I do it. But let's talk about, and that's how I have it. And that's how I do it. So let's talk about why I do it. Well, partly, I started doing this early on in my marriage. I've been married for getting close to 20 years now. And my wife, I would wake up earlier to go to work. My wife was still asleep, and she got mad at me for being too loud. So I figured, how are ways I could do this and make everything faster? So I just started putting everything in my pants. So I just have to grab my pants, walk out, put them on. I don't have to dig through a tray or my nightstand to grab everything. It's just all right there. And what I've noticed is, and as I thought about it, it's actually a really quick way. If I had to grab and go in an emergency, I would get woken up in the middle of the night if I'm at a hotel or at my home, and let's say a house was on fire. You know, I got to grab my kids and get them out, grab my wife, get her out. But then I'm probably gonna, you know, I'm just in my pajamas. I wear my underwear and probably some gym shorts or pajama bottoms. And But if I get a chance, I can just grab my pants, and it has my wallet, has a pen, has a knife, has actually some extra ammo, a flashlight. Won't have my phone in it because my phone will be sitting there charging next to my nightstand, but I could hopefully quickly grab it and just stick it in my pocket and have it. And so I realized that that was a great grab and go thing. And it actually helped me one time. I was on travel for my work, and I was in a hotel room, and we had to evacuate. It was late at night. I was pretty much going to bed, and the fire alarm went off. I was like, oh man. And I was already in my gym shorts, so I just grabbed my pants and grabbed my boots and walked out the door. And I had everything. Now I did grab my pistol, which I keep on my nightstand. So, and it's holstered. I never unchamber my weapons, and that's because my kids from day one, they see it, they've treated it like they would a hot stove. I've told the kids, don't touch a hot stove, and they never have. Same thing with the pistol, and they've never touched it or played with them. That's my situation. Could be different for yours, depending on your kids. But I've never had an issue, and my kids don't play with my guns. And they don't play with the guns. They know that those are dangerous and they can hurt people, and that they are tools that are to be used for a purpose, but they're not toys. And so I never unchamber them. I do leave it holstered. And so I can just grab the holster, grab my pants, hopefully grab my boots, and if I grab a t-shirt, if I'm not wearing a t-shirt, and I can, if it was devastating loss, I'd be set to go somewhat. I mean, not perfect. I still lost a lot of stuff, but in that case, in the hotel room, somebody, I think they were smoking in their room, and they saw the smoke detector, and it set off all the alarms. Luckily, the sprinklers didn't go off, but we all had to evacuate, fire department, and we were probably standing out there for, luckily it wasn't wintertime. I was in the southern part of the U.S. and southeastern part, and so it was warm, muggy, and humid, but unlike everyone else who were like in bathrobes or their pajamas, and one woman looked like she slept in the nude, and she wasn't the type you really want to see in the nude. She had a bathrobe on, that was it, and it barely covered certain areas of her, and she had some slippers on. But I was able to just go to where my vehicle was and put on my pants. I had a t-shirt, so I was wearing a t-shirt, and I put my boots on, and I was a lot more comfortable standing around, and I holstered my weapon. Well, I didn't holster, I attached my holster to my belt, and I was pretty good. I also, because I leave the keys in my pants, I had the keys to my vehicle, so I could go sit in my vehicle as the fire department had to clear the hotel. So, yeah, and also I had my wallet, so if I had to drive, I could go somewhere. If I had to go buy some food, I had my wallet on me, I had my keys on me, had my pistol, had some knives, flashlight, and I remembered to grab my phone. Another thing that I always do is I tie my boots together. I wear Red Wing boots by and large. I do have like some Salomons. Actually, they're really more tennis shoes that I use for running. But I have Salomons. But my primary boots have always been Red Wings. They've been Red Wings since I was probably 16. My mom got me a pair of Red Wings, and I loved them. So I wear Red Wing boots. Call my brand Myopic. I like Red Wing boots. They're super comfortable and durable. But I always tie my boots together. And I stick my next pair of socks that I'm going to wear the next day in there at night. And I stick a tourniquet in there. Because, as you know, I carry my tourniquet typically wrapped around my leg. Not tight or anything. It's just kind of lightly Velcroed there, but I have one on me. But also, if I had to evacuate, I grab my boots, which I can just grab just one because I tie them together like this. Just simple, basic overhand knots. And, I can untie it in the morning, but I can, in emergency, I can grab my boots, grab my pants. Hopefully I'm wearing a shirt, and I grab my pistol. Yeah, if I can grab other stuff, that's great, but at least I got those things on me. So let's talk about what I carry. Of course, I pointed you that in my boots, of course, I wear Darn Tough socks. I've worn other socks, but I've really liked the Darn Tough. These are the model T3006. They go all the way up to here, and I like that. It kind of gives me some extra protection. And they're padded on the bottom, so they're really comfortable to hike around with and wear. And I keep my tourniquet there. And these I don't keep next to my bed. They're by the front door in my house or in the mudroom. So, because I don't believe in wearing shoes in your house, I really don't. You know, keep your floors as clean as possible. It's your house. And another thing I always try, if I get time, I'm also going to grab, these are a pair of Chacos. I've worn Chacos for longer. I've been married. I love Chacos. They're great. I've done whitewater rafting. That's probably the main reason I got them. And they're just super comfortable. And I use a basic Night IZ slide lock carabiner. It's not load bearing or anything, but I keep them that way, together like that. So when I'm traveling at a hotel, I lock them to my boots. So again, if I have to leave in a hurry, after that occasion where I had to evacuate, I started doing that. So I also have my sandals. Sandals are very useful, especially Chacos. You know, if I had to do a water crossing, don't want to get my boots, don't want to get water in my boots, I just slip on my sandals. So let's talk about what I carry on myself and reason why I carry it. Okay, so like I said, my Red Wing boots, tie them together. All I gotta do is pull some of these ends here, and they're no longer tied together. There, now you know my shoe size. Again, my Darn Tough socks. When I take these off at night, I go grab a new pair of socks if I'm done for the day. Now, if I have to go run more errands after I get home from work or for the day, I don't do it. But before I go to bed, I go grab a new pair of socks and I stick them in here like this. When I take off my boots, I put my tourniquet in there like that. Tie them together, stick them by the front door or mudroom, wherever, or bed next to my bed if I'm staying in a hotel room. And so let's talk about my pants. As I probably 90% of the time I'm wearing 511 jeans. I've looked at the Vertex and maybe other cool jeans or tactical guy type jeans. I haven't bought them. I haven't tried them. I thought about trying the Vertex, but I'm kind of on the guy after I find something that works, I kind of just don't change. So, the reason I like these jeans are mainly these extra pockets. They're kind of stretchy too. They fit really well. But on my left-hand side, I stick my phone in there. I can also stick a magazine in there, and I have done that. And then I stick my wallet in here. This is my basic wallet. It's just one of the Magpul ones. Got to keep my IDs and stuff. ID in one part, some cash. Always carry cash on me. Debit card, gas card, whatever. Belt, I talked about it before. It's an Aries Gear, Aries Defense, forget what they're called. I probably have to write it again in the description. Oh, Aries Gear, there we go. I keep it like that. I offset it because, again, the way I carry appendix, it works very well. It keeps the bulk, so it's not up here in the front, sticking out. It puts it right here, and then the claw on the sidecar typically pushes that in. Really works well together. So I talked about it again, previous videos. My Emerson Super Commander, thin, cool looking knife. I like it. These are my house keys, key to this Toyota. I don't use a key ring. I just use shot cord. You know, it's really easy. If I have to separate keys, all I gotta do is that. I put them in this just because it kind of keeps them a little quieter. Keeps them from moving around as much. I always carry a carabiner with me, and this is a load-bearing one, so this is a climbing one. But here's one of the reasons why is if I can't have a knife or my pistol, I can probably carry a carabiner, and that's a pretty good device I could use. Also, I've used this when I've been with the kids, when we've been on family outings. We're going through like a museum or zoo or what have you, and they have jackets. They got tired of carrying them. I don't want to carry them. I can clip the jacket into here and the little loop, and then I can clip it right there and just hang it off my side. Does it look weird and funky? Yes, it does, but hey, I'm a dad with 5 kids and a hot wife, so carry those. Key to our minivan. Yes, I have a minivan, and I love my minivan. These are some Raycon everyday earbuds. I like these because I like being able to go hands-free with my phone. Again, I got 5 kids. All of them can walk now. My youngest is 3. But when they're younger, if I have to answer a phone, now I'm juggling a kid and have to hold the phone if I'm pushing something, or I got to be able to access my weapon if need be. I can go hands-free with these, and these have the awareness mode, which is really kind of nice. And I don't think they don't rate it for shooting, but I have shot with them, and they do a decent job. I wouldn't do it all day. I wouldn't take a class or anything with them, but in a pinch. This is a Ethereum Zippo case, so it's got the Zippo internal part right there. I check the fuel every 2 weeks on it to make sure it's all topped off, and I put shock cord around it because what I was finding is that in my pocket it hit that and then it pop open and then all the fuel evaporates out. So I put the shock cord there and it keeps it from opening up. So yeah, of course I forget what the pocket is. Everyone keeps chains. I believe in crypto, so yeah, that has cryptocurrency on it. And then a little thing of olive oil with a little dropper. That's a kind of religious thing for me. I always carry a pen on me, have ever since I was 19 years old, and run around on a bicycle in a white shirt. So I always keep a pen. This is from Bonafide. It's the founder of this pen company. They are the parents of John Noveske Jr., so Noveske Rifle Works, and he founded this company. I actually have a Gen 1. This is their Gen 2, I believe, is what they call it. I had the Gen 1 from when he did it on Kickstarter, and I really like these pens. They're durable. I like the Gen 2 for you gotta twist it to make it lock forward, so it kind of keeps it from engaging when you don't want it to. Again, I keep my wallet right in there. I don't keep anything in my back pocket because when I sit, I don't like, I'm not a chiropractor. I see a chiropractor and I don't want to have to be adjusted more. My phone, I just keep right here. Now, I always carry a weapon light, but you should always carry a flashlight. You can have smaller, you can have bigger, whatever you want. I really like this light. As you can see, I've worn it pretty good. Yeah, I thought about going for the deeper concealment clip, but I like being able to just play around with this. It's my fidget spinner. And then I can stick that in my mouth if I have to. I have to use both hands. Talk about the Raven concealment shield thing. This is a Blue Forest gear. This Leatherman Wave I've had for since I was probably 20 years old. I bought it because my other Leatherman broke. And then Glock, this is the Glock 19X with the factory extended. I keep that just in case, and that's how I keep my, and then that's what I carry on me besides my pistol. And of course, I have a watch. I always have a watch. Of course, my wedding ring too, but I don't have smartwatches. I don't like having smartwatches. I don't like the fact that I have to charge it every night. What if I forget to charge it? I already have to charge my phone every night or throughout the day. Well, I don't want to have to charge a smartwatch. So I use, battery powered or this is automatic. This is from, I believe, Sangin. Yeah, I really like their watches. They're cool. Founded by a Marine Raider. So, it has some elegance to it. This is the Atlas. This is their Gen 2, because I have some Gen 1s too, and it's got the little dot in there. But this one's all illumination. Hey, yeah, I'm O negative. I'm a universal donor. So yeah, I'll hit the tripod. So yeah, I always carry it. And some of you are asking, why don't I carry up here? You just want to be a tactical guy? No, I actually started carrying this long before I really got into guns and stuff. And the reason I started carrying it like this is, I'll get into that story, but yeah, so this is Sangin Atlas 2. I have some Atlas 1s. I carry a compass because I do like having a compass. My blood type, the strap is Zulu Alpha straps. I like them. It's a basic strap, you just feed it through here. I carry 2 keepers, not the one that it comes with, so I bought an extra one because it just kind of keeps it more secure and from flopping around and coming loose. Yes, it carries an American flag. So yeah, they're a freedom keeper. Now, that American flag, depending on if I was going to another country or not, I would probably flip it around depending on the country I was going to, because Americans were great targets. So let's talk about why I carry this watch this way. Inside like that. I carry it sometimes, I sometimes have it facing up like that. But by and large, I like it like this. And it goes down to when I was younger, I was a foreign service brat, and I lived in another country. I lived in some other countries, and my dad was with USAID. He did counter anti-corruption projects. He wasn't a spook or anything, so no, he wasn't that. He's an accountant. He would teach people how to be accountants, and that's what as part of a condition of receiving foreign aid at that time, they would have to learn how to be accountants and how to do audits and have their IGs and perform audits that would combat corruption and find fraud. So that's what he did. I followed kind of in his footsteps. I'm an accountant, not overseas. Thought about going overseas. I wouldn't mind going overseas, particularly El Salvador or Argentina, just because, one, they're beautiful countries and they got great presidents. Got my fingers crossed for what we may have coming. But I carry it this way because we had a guy, and he probably was a spook. He might have been one. He was in the Army in the 60s and went to Vietnam. He earned a beret. He was at one point in Bolivia in the 60s in October, where, if you know your history, a certain individual was put down by the CIA and Bolivian troops and a few other people, and he may or may not have been there. He would never tell us. But after he got out of the Army, he did a stint in Southeast Asia and stuff, in Vietnam as a Green Beret. He went to go work for an organization that was flying planes in Southeast Asia, an organization called Air America, if you know what they were. That gives you an idea what he may or may not have been. But I noticed I remember because I was like 12, 13 years old, and I asked him, why do you always carry, because my dad always watch up here, and he's like, why do you always carry there? He's like, well, and he had a nice Rolex. I mean, it was a Rolex. Probably a Submariner. I don't know. I can't remember. I just remember saying that it was a Rolex he got when he was in the military, and he liked it because the reason why he said he carried it that way is because then if he folded his arms, you couldn't see that. All you could see was the band. He actually wore a band similar to this. He didn't have the nice metal band, but he's like, then people just think I'm wearing a bracelet. So I can stick my hands in my pockets, and they're not seeing a watch. Let's see here. You're not seeing a watch right there. And I'm like, oh, that's pretty. He's like, and I've never, and I thought that was pretty cool. And he's like, out of all Americans overseas, I've never had my watch stolen. And then he attributed that's the way he wore it. So when I started getting watches and stuff, that's the way I started wearing them. And I found it was one nice thing about it is if I'm shooting, I can look at the time. Oh, I got to get home, finish this last drill. But also, if I'm in a meeting or something, I tend to sit in meetings and I'll have my arms crossed or I'm writing something. But I can look down at my, just the inside of my wrist, and I can see what time it is without being obvious, like, oh, look at that time, this meeting's done, or I need to stop talking with you. I can just much more covertly look at my watch and see what time it is. That's what I carry. That's how I carry my stuff, and I have it all ready to go. Like I said, I sleep with my watch on, and that way, that's another thing. If I had to leave in an emergency, I have my watch. I grab my pants, grab my boots. I already put those other pair of pants in there, and I put everything that was in those pants back inside the pants I'm currently wearing. So yes, I am wearing pants, even though you can't see them. Good quality boots. Not saying that my boots or my socks are the best. Not saying my pants are the best. Not saying that my EDC is the best. Just telling you the reason, my philosophy on it. Think about why you're doing it and the applications you can use it for. And again, don't look at me as an example, as someone put on a pedestal. That's something I really, and that's what I'm going to go into now. Something I really don't like in the tactical, cool community is when we put certain people on pedestals and think these are the guys should be my role model. And I'm not saying they're great guys. I've met a few and they seem like really cool guys, but they're not God. They're not Jesus Christ. They're imperfect people just as I'm an imperfect person. I have some moral beliefs that are very unique to me and my religious belief system, like not having sex till you're married, staying married to the same person as long as possible, assuming that they're not a liberal or apostate in some way to your religion. or a liberal. That's probably one of the big ones there. And you know, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't drink coffee. But I try not to judge people who do, but I'm not going to put, even the people that have my same belief system, I don't put them on pedestals, and I don't think anyone should. I don't think you should. I think you're bound to have some disappointment if you do that. The one person, if you're a Christian, you should put on a pedestal is Jesus Christ. If you are not a Christian, if you're Jewish, it should be God. It should be Jehovah. It should be, you know, it should be your deity. It should be God. That's who you need to put on your pedestal. That is who you adore. That is who you strive to be like. Now, there are certain people that I may strive to. I want to shoot like him. I want to maneuver like him. I want to be able to put rounds on target like him. I want to be able to drive like him. I want to have a muscular physique like him. Be careful on that one, because a lot of people use steroids, and I don't believe in steroid use unless it's for a definitive medical purpose. And when I say definitive, it's because you've been hurt or you have some type of legitimate disease or injury that requires it. Not just because you want to look cool. Plus, they make your balls shrink and your penis shrink. So yeah, you know, I can strive to put certain people on a pedestal in terms of what I want to try and do physically, but not a role model for me. My role model is Jesus Christ, and it will always be Jesus Christ. I hope that if you're Christian, he's your role model too. If you're not Christian, if you're Jewish, well then, your role model should be what you've read in the Torah, and live according to the tenets of the 612, I forget the exact number of commandments, as well as we should all be. But as usual, I'm going to tell you to be prepared physically, mentally, and spiritually. We've talked about some spiritual. Do it, practice it, develop new skill sets. Until next time, take care. I hope you liked that. My take on EDC, and it's changed a lot. Should have pointed that one out. Let's go on my rant. I like Toyotas. I learned how to drive on a Toyota Land Cruiser, an 80 series that was manual. It had a manual transmission on it, and it was in La Paz, Bolivia. That's where I learned how to drive on a 80 series manual transmission Toyota Land Cruiser. There, I can zoom that out. So yeah, I like Toyotas. And you know what? That Toyota Land Cruiser, I swear it's probably still driving, actually. But, you know, I got this Toyota pickup, it's a 93, and I love it. Granted, I have thought about getting a Toyota Tacoma, and I probably will get a Toyota Tacoma because I can get the dual cab or crew cab, whatever they call it, double cab, you know, 4 doors. You know, and so I could seat a lot more people. This thing has the jump seats in the back, so theoretically, manual locks. Theoretically, this thing can seat 4 people, but realistically, I've only ever had 3 in here. And like you may or may not know, I have 5 kids. And granted, I can't fit all the kids into that, but yeah, I thought I probably will be getting a Toyota Tacoma, and it'll be a long bed. I like the 6-foot bed. If you ask why, the 5-foot bed is better for off-road, and it probably is, because you got a shorter wheelbase. I like the 5-foot bed because then it can carry stuff. One of the purposes of a pickup is to put crap in it, and do haul crap around, especially when your wife sees a piece of furniture that she just has to have. Whew, hopefully she doesn't watch this. So yeah, I like having the 6-foot bed. Also, I'm like 5'11", 6 feet. So if need be, I can sleep in the back of the pickup. And I like that. I think you should have a camper on it. The Toyota Tacoma I'll probably get is probably not one of the new ones. I like the new ones, don't get me wrong. I'm not sold on the hybrid thing, but if I was going to get a new one, it'd be the hybrid. No, I don't want to turn here. I'll I'll probably get something like 2020, 2021, 2019. You know, Gen 3, those V6s are bulletproof. If you take care of them, they're pretty much bulletproof. Automatic transmissions, take care of them, they're bulletproof. Get it with a 6-foot bed, the TRD model, so I get the locking rear diff and the crawl control. And of course, I'd probably put some bigger tires on it because it'd be my overland rig. Put lights everywhere, lights where you don't need them. And maybe 33, 35-inch tires. Blocker in the front, re-gear it. I always tell people, if you're going to put bigger tires, the first thing you need to do after you put those bigger tires on, you need to re-gear it, because it will greatly help your vehicle. Also putting less strain on your engine and transmission when you re-gear them. So yeah, I probably will be getting a Tacoma at some point. Maybe if this really takes off, I'll do some videos of me building it out and doing some trips with the kids on them. Haven't shown you pictures of my kids yet. I'm trying to figure out if I want to or not, because you know they're my kids and my job is to protect them, and I really don't have to shoot someone because they want to do something to my kids. So yeah, Toyota Tacoma. I'd really like to get a Land Cruiser too. Not the new Land Cruisers. I'm not sold on the new Land Cruiser. Yeah, it's got that new look to it, and I will admit the design is appealing. But for me, the Land Cruiser, something like a 200 series. You can still get them in the U.S. used, and some of them have really low miles on it. I've seen some that have like less than 1,000 miles on it. Of course, you're paying for it too, but you know, they're Land Cruisers, so they'll probably be giving them, if I bought one that had low miles, I'd probably be giving it to my great-grandkids, because they're just durable. Yes, I know, they're not the Land Cruisers we want with the diesel and the manual transmission, but you get what you can get.